The moment that our staff has been waiting on for the past few months has finally arrived. We're on night one of the symposium, and all of our staff is really excited. All of our youth, 29 youth from 15 states, finally arrived here in Washington, D.C.
I'm from La Crosse, Wisconsin.
I'm from Perdocene, Wisconsin.
West Virginia.
Jacksonville, Florida.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Hannibal, Missouri.
Boston, Massachusetts.
There is legislation that's been introduced in the House and Senate that would exempt something called traditional large and premium cigars from FDA regulation. Now, mind you, the FDA hasn't said what it's going to do yet. So this legislation is going to preempt them from doing something they haven't even said how they're going to do.
I would suggest you to look at the language of the bill because the definition of a premium cigar is extremely vague and it would allow for lots of loopholes for things that aren't premium cigars. Things like cigarillos that are candy flavored. Instead of having a premium cigar, it would exclude things like double apple or strawberry or peach flavored tobacco products.
There's legislation that's been proposed that would exclude products known as cigars, but also things such as cigarillos from legislation by the FDA, which has already been granted under the 2009 Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act. We're urging you to ensure that these products can remain under the FDA's regulation because tobacco remains the leading cause of preventable death in America.
Look me in the eyes. Your story is one of the strongest arguments you can use. In fact, I think your meeting will be missing some power if you do not share what you just shared with each other in the legislative offices.
So when people say to me, why tobacco? Don't we have more urgent things to do? The answer I give them is pretty quick is, no, there's no other public health issue that is more urgent, that impacts more families in the middle time of life than tobacco use. The number of people who die in the United States every day is the equivalent of 3 jumbo jets crashing. If one jumbo jet crashed once a month, there would be a hue and cry for massive reformation of the airline industry. Think about it.
Welcome to FDA Center for Tobacco Products, affectionately known as CTP.
Hi, I'm Kayla Hinckley. I'm from Hurricane, West Virginia.
Hi, my name is Patty Simon. I'm from Old Orchard Beach, Maine.
My name is Alex Higginbotham and I live in Kansas City, Missouri.
I'm Long and I'm from North Carolina.
Hi, my name is Julie Feist and I'm from Morrisville, New York.
Does anybody in the room have questions for any of the youth advocates?
I have 2 teens and I'm impressed by your knowledge about the legislative process.
I think it's a combination of 2 things. One, we have some of the brightest youth advocates in the world that we have access to. And then 2, the Campaign for Tobacco for Kids also come up with the right kind of talking points, gave a good background of the issue, and sort of prepared them for what the meeting with their member of Congress and staff would probably look like.
I've learned a lot of things from the FDA that I didn't know before, and I've learned many different ways that I can actually be involved.
I did gain new skills. I'd say the experience of talking to national representatives, like speaking to somebody of that status and kind of having the experience of this is what you're supposed to do when you're in a representative's office. This is how you go about introducing yourself and bringing up an issue that you have. It was really neat.
It's probably a once-in-a-lifetime experience, you know, getting to network with other youth who are working on the same projects and giving you different ideas. It's a really cool experience.
The staff at TFK will do whatever they can to help you back in your local communities take on the tobacco industry and keep doing all of the great work that you are already doing.
There's so many doors opening for us, and that all of us as Yayas, and you know, I think that if they could just take advantage of any opportunity and take the initiative, it would be awesome.
Staying involved in tobacco control doesn't have to be a career decision, it can be a passion decision, which it has been for most of them.
I think that this week went great. It's definitely a difficult task to make sure that this entire experience was organized and smooth. And so, you know, I'd like to start off by thanking the staff. But the other side of that is that we have a really good group of kids. I think we have some of the best advocates that I've ever been exposed to in my entire life. As a former youth advocate before taking this job, I've been to several of Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids symposia. And so I'm not being biased when I say I think this is one of the greatest ones, mainly because we've had some of the best youth advocates out there. They've been engaged from start to finish. They are extremely knowledgeable about the art and the nuances of tobacco control, especially when it comes to youth initiatives. And so, you know, they are really, really great. We've had a lot of fun. We've had a series of meetings that have proven to be beneficial to them. In a lot of conversations with them, they've said that this is something that they will never forget. And I think that's the greatest single impact that we can have. In addition to making sure they have a wealth of knowledge on tobacco control by the time they leave here, it's those other experiences that they'll never forget that's really important to me. For several of them, it was their first time getting on an airplane, or the first time they've had the opportunity to travel by themselves, or the first time they got on a boat, even if it was only for 5 minutes. Overall, I think this week was a wildly successful week, and I'm looking forward to all of the things that'll come out of it, because truly the impact will continue to be measured even when they get back home to their hometowns.